The Bahrain pre-season testing session provided mixed signals about the true performance level of the cars, allowing only a rough ranking of the teams based on their on-track performance. There is no doubt that McLaren has confirmed that the MCL-39 is currently the most effective car. The race pace shown in long runs, more than in single-lap performance, demonstrates that the Woking team's car did not require any particular setup to extract performance. The Bahrain pre-season testing session provided mixed signals about the true performance level of the cars, allowing only a rough ranking of the teams based on their on-track performance. There is no doubt that McLaren has confirmed that the MCL-39 is currently the most effective car based on data collected from the 5.412-kilometer Bahrain International Circuit in Scuderia. The race pace shown in long runs, more than in single-lap performance, demonstrates that the Woking team's car did not require any particular setup to extract performance. This situation is almost the opposite of Ferrari's. The MCL-39 car is an extreme design, but has not changed its fundamental concept. Even though its front suspension stands out due to the extreme inclination of the upper triangle with a low rear attachment point, this does not amount to a radical overhaul of its dynamic characteristics. Ferrari, on the other hand, is the top team that has made the most radical changes to its car compared to last season. This is particularly evident in the switch from a pushrod to a pull rod front suspension. The new suspension has been a key focus aspect for the Maranello engineers and technicians. It must be clarified that this is anything but a trivial change. It requires a completely different approach to setup compared to the previous car in order to achieve precise integration between aerodynamic and mechanical balance. Therefore, the SF-25 should still be considered a raw project when assessing the data from the 3 days of pre-season testing in Bahrain. But the team remains confident the car is solid. Starting from this premise, the media narrative suggesting that the SF-25 single-seater has inherent limitations compared to the MCL-39 needs to be challenged. Based on what was observed in Bahrain, it would be technically incorrect to describe the SF-25 as fundamentally limited by its own design concept. That would imply that no matter how much the new Ferrari is developed over the season, it would still be forced to chase McLaren for the entire championship. The balance issues were clearly and transparently pointed out by Charles Leclerc, who generally felt less comfortable than Lewis Hamilton. The Monegasque driver particularly struggled to carry enough speed into corners, a key aspect of his driving style. But these balance issues stem from the need to find the right setup over time, not from fundamental design flaws in the car. The SF-25 single-seater was able to post strong lap times with ease once time attack runs were attempted, while tire degradation in race conditions already appears more manageable compared to the SF-24 car from last season. This suggests that the car has performance potential and, like other teams, its true speed may have been concealed. Regarding balance, the data gathered on track and analyzed this week through extensive simulator sessions should help achieve a better setup. Finding the right harmony in a car that has undergone a radical change in its mechanical concept, despite maintaining aerodynamic continuity with its predecessor, is no trivial task, quite the opposite. In fact, one could argue that it would have been almost an anomaly if the tests had immediately shown perfect behavior from the SF-25 and an effortless setup process. In short, Melbourne next week, not only because of the characteristics of the Albert Park circuit and its different weather conditions, could logically silence the critics. In the meantime, Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur has revealed that the team he inherited in late 2022 was devoid of confidence due to the trauma associated with previous Formula One failures. Frédéric Vasseur succeeded the outgoing Mattia Binotto, whose last campaign at the helm began with much promise but soon petered out to end with more bitter disappointment. Having not been in contention during 2021, the Italian marque capitalized on investing in an extensive overhaul to the rules to start the next campaign with the benchmark car. But while the Maranello team led the standings over the opening 5 races, Ferrari was unable to sustain the challenge as Red Bull took both championships with several races to spare. The Maranello-based squad was made to rue reliability woes and strategic mishaps, culminating in a 205-point loss to Red Bull as it failed to win across the last 11 rounds. Frédéric Vasseur has recalled how the calamitous manner in which Ferrari's title bid unraveled that season had a damaging impact on the group that he was tasked with reviving. Frederic Vasseur pointed out that they had begun the project in 2022, 6 months ahead of any other team, but had perceived their runner-up position as a failure. The Frenchman explained that this had caused significant trauma within the team, making it necessary to restore calm and serenity. His priority had been to rebuild confidence, as he did not want a team driven by fear. The former Alfa Romeo boss mentioned that this process had been established quickly, as he was already familiar with many people at Ferrari, which had made it easier to connect with them. He added that while 2022 had been a strong season in terms of results, it had ultimately been regarded as a missed opportunity, with Ferrari holding an advantage that it had been unable to capitalize on. This, the Ferrari team principal noted, had led to considerable frustration within the Italian side. Frederic Vasseur's calming presence has steadied the ship at Ferrari, as he has cultivated an environment where staff are encouraged to take risks without a blame culture attached. But while that has not delivered an end to the squad's protracted title drought, Ferrari's response to its mid-season setback in 2024 vindicated the approach that he has installed. Having ended 14 points short behind eventual champions McLaren, Frederic Vasseur has acknowledged that being in contention to win both championships must be the target. The French manager said that over the past 6 months, they had worked very hard on the SF-25 and had made significant improvements. However, he noted that they would have to wait until everyone was on track in Melbourne to fully understand their position. Frederic Vasseur emphasized that their goal was to compete for both championships, acknowledging that they had 2 drivers capable of achieving it and that the team's atmosphere was very positive. He added that they would continue working hard to be fully prepared for the start of the season in 2 weeks. Finally, it's also worth mentioning the special event Ferrari has planned on Thursday. Charles Leclerc in the SF-90, the car with which he secured his first victories in 2019, and Lewis Hamilton in the SF-21 will be the main attractions of the driver's presentation in collaboration with one of the team's main partners, set to take place tomorrow in Milan's Piazza Castello from 16 o'clock Central European Standard Time. The municipality of Milan has set up a mini-circuit that will also pass through several streets. This arena will allow Ferrari fans to experience an event featuring pit stops and spectacular burnouts, a thrilling way to excite enthusiasts ahead of the season debut next week in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix, where words will give way to action. The event has been made possible through the partnership between Ferrari and UniCredit, the new premium partner joining the long list of brands featured on the SF-25's livery. The afternoon will begin at 16 o'clock with a DJ set, followed an hour later by a special stage appearance from Ferrari CEO Benedetto Vigna and UniCredit CEO Andrea Orcel, who will be welcomed by Sky Sport presenters, while former Ferrari driver Ivan Capelli will provide commentary on the 2 Ferrari drivers' performances. Fred Vasseur will also take the stage to answer questions from the hosts. The French team principal appears optimistic, as he commented last night at a Puma event in Fiorano, pointing out that the feeling is positive after what the team was able to test in Bahrain, but also admitting that only in Australia will we get the first real feedback. Lewis and Charles will then respond to questions from Scuderia Ferrari Club fans. The stage will not only showcase today's F1, but also past icons, alongside the F-175, previously displayed at the February 18th event in London celebrating the sport's 75th anniversary, will be the F-2004, the most successful Ferrari of the Michael Schumacher era, and the 248 F1 from 2006, the last Ferrari driven by the German legend.